Hey guys, Kings on the Fanboy here, and welcome back to another video. Today is the final video in the Beast Retrack saga. So all of you know the Beast has reopened at Kings Island, and I've gotten to ride it, so I'll be giving my review of the Retrack and some additional things they have done to update the Beast this year. I have ridden the Beast one time in row 16, so I'll be trying to describe my experience on the ride as best as I can from my one ride. So starting off here in the station, the Beast has actually gotten a new up bar system. Before, the Beast would unlock the first 3 cars and then the last 3 cars, but now it unlocks the cars one by one, so you can hear the click of the up bar going down the entire train, and I think it sounds really cool. So starting off the ride experience, it's very much the same. You just pull right out of the station off to the right. But then the first big change we have is on the drop. Now the drop is still trimmed. However, I find the trim does not hit as hard as it did before the Retrack. Going down the drop, I felt a tiny little bit of floater airtime. It's very subtle. It doesn't really lift you off the seat. It's like it was trying to be there, but the trim kind of just killed what airtime there would have been. After that drop, we have the first turn, which is also Retrack. This turn is very weird now. Now before the Retrack, you would go into this turn at a pretty steep angle, then you would bank, and that banking would remain the same throughout the entire turn. However, now they have it so it goes in at a little bit of less steep angle, and it doesn't remain the same banking all the way through. So you fly into the turn with a little bit of banking, and then in the middle of the turn, it banks you to the most degree it has on the turn, and you flip to the side. Then you're only there for a split second, then when you're flipped back around to a little less banking when you go into that hill. So it's really sudden. It really flips you to the side really sudden than before when you were at the same angle the entire way through the turn. Then after that, we have the straight section, and then the trim on the straight section does not hit hard at all. Before the Retrack, the trim would come to almost a complete stop when it hit that trim, but now it slows down just a little bit and it keeps going. Another section that was retracked in-house by Kings Island was the second tunnel, and now that you're flying so fast through that section of the ride, because the trim before it doesn't hit as hard, I find when you went into the first turn, you first enter the tunnel, you get a weird mix of laterals throwing you to the side, and then a little bit of floater airtime too, and that area is so much more intense than it was before. It's not banked that hard, so you get some awesome laterals going through that. And then the turns following into the second lift hill also have a lot more laterals too, because you're also flying through it a lot faster because the trim before didn't hit that hard. And then the big change that happened to the Beast this year was, of course, the double Helix. This is the big thing that everyone's been waiting for, so let's get into it. Now before, when you hit this section of ride, it was very sudden. The trim would slow you down a little bit, but you would keep gaining speed, and you would suddenly hit that turn, and you would be flung to the side of the train with some very intense laterals. But now, the trim doesn't hit as hard on that area, but the drop isn't as sudden. Now when I first rode it, I was bracing for the sudden turn that the Beast had before, but this turn is a lot more gradual going into it. It's a lot smoother, it's a lot less sudden, it feels more natural. Now for me, this kind of takes away from the ride a little bit. I really liked the sudden, rough, and lateral-filled turn that the Beast had before, so I'll definitely have to ride it some more, see if I can get used to it, see if I can appreciate this area of track a little bit more, because I did only get one ride on it, and it was a little cold, so I want to see if it can warm up a little bit and bring back the laterals that it had before. But this area of ride is also very smooth, so you can feel it transfer from the smooth new track into the little bit rougher old track. It's going into the smooth track, it's perfectly smooth, glossy smooth, but then when you transfer onto the old track, you get a little bit of that bounciness that the Beast had before. Then into the second turn into the Helix, it's again really smooth, but not a lot there. The second turn is usually the weakest one. I didn't feel much of a difference besides just the smoothness. So that's pretty much it that the Beast has gone through update and Retrack wise. So let's give over my final overlook of the ride, my final review. So overall, I think the retrack work and the work they've done on the Beast is absolutely incredible. The Beast is running better than ever, and you have to get out and ride it. The new mix of a little bit of airtime and the trims that are weaker and the speed that the ride gets now is absolutely incredible. I love how it's running this year. I cannot wait to marathon it. Less crowded days and just ride it in general, especially the night rides. I cannot wait to get some night rides on this. So it's absolutely running phenomenal, and you have to get down to Kings Island to ride it. I love all the work that Kings Island's been paying attention to the Beast. I hope they continue to pay more attention to it. Well, that's all for this video. I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Did you guys get to ride Beast? What do you think of the retrack? Did you think it made the ride worse or better? I want to hear all of that down in the comments below. Well, again, that's all for this video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.